Welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to the Devils of the West. When last we left, these rootin' tootin', strange, otherworldly being shooting cow poke, they had just gotten done having quite the tussle in the house of Hyena, one of the Eyes of Providence, where a enemy you guys have been tracking down for some time finally clashed with you. This confrontation came to a head, and that individual has been put down seemingly finally after shooting, and then as before he rose back from the dead, decapitating him with his own blade. Unfortunately, his opening move in that scuffle was to kick a door open and give both barrels to two members of your party, both of which are down and without a pulse at the moment. What y'all do?
Well, we know one will just wake up tomorrow, so...
I am completely out of power points, trying to cast healing spells on those two.
See, unless this is the big
That's about
twist,
as much as I got.
this is where, like, I finally done enough good that I get to go to heaven. And there's
Enough good you get to go to... Yeah, you definitely have done enough good. You get to go to
You don't
heaven.
understand the gospel.
I think shooting a holy avenger probably put some weights on the wrong end of the scale.
Yeah, I think Scratch is gonna walk in and be like, you're finally coming home.
It's the word choice. I'm using that word choice because it's what I titled that episode.
Ah, yes, of course.
I mean, I'll try to do a healing.
No, we are dead.
No,
They're dead.
You have
Oh, that's
confirmed
right.
that they don't have a pulse.
I can't heal you alive.
You are a vampire, and this man is dead.
Oh, that's right.
So you feel free to have a feast.
Ooh, you should snack on the guy we just killed, and maybe it'll give you holy powers, or maybe it will kill you. It'll be like straight
I'm
holy
going
water.
to try to feast on the guy we just killed.
Okay. Going over, and you're just gonna sink your fangs in. Moving over to him, like, he doesn't, like, obviously he's for sure dead now. You don't see, like, blood pouring out of the place where his head was removed from his body. And are you like just going and trying to sink fangs into the neck, or are you going to investigate further before doing so?
If I don't see any blood, then I just assume you don't have any blood.
If you don't think he's got any blood, you haven't looked at the stump, but the stump.
I am gonna grab our good friend, Hyena, and
New friend.
and kind of explain the situation because
Not good friend.
I mean, I have one idea we could do, but I need the equipment to do it.
You're already pulling down the goggles and hooking up the electrodes. And...
It could be alive.
Yeah, like pull out the jumper cables. I'm ready.
We get a good thunderstorm. As soon as we get a good thunderstorm in here, these two are jumping back up.
Well, I mean, he's died before. I don't need to worry too much about him. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab Hyena and just kind of explain it. Just be like, all right, our killing acquaintance is dead, but so are our other acquaintances.
You have how many dead folk in this party?
3. Or well, we have 2.
He puts an amulet on that guy and he just rises back up.
We have 2. Technically 3 if we count this guy, but I mean
Dead, not undead.
Yeah.
And one of them, he comes walking back out to the front here, and he like looks over and he said, "He'll be back."
Yeah, we can put him on.
I expect you'll be fine.
Now this feller, poor soul. Y'all gotta help this boy find a path. And he kind of like, you see him he kind of like somewhat abruptly grabs Grimes' face and like turns it side to side and is looking at him. Well, y'all have done me an awfully large favor here, that's for sure. Taking care of this problem, and a favor to the Eyes of Providence.
I'm starting to feel the same way, no offense.
None taken. I suppose, keep the body free of rot. I got something to go grab. 1 second.
How exactly were you expected to do that?
Oh God, he's rotten already.
Rotten to the core before he ever went down.
No,
He says,
I'm
walking
pretty sure he's pickled himself. So I think you'll be fine.
And you see him like walk a couple of steps and then just turn and open a picture frame off the wall, step into it, and close it behind.
Well, we should
Man.
We should probably...
Weird man, I say to Mohan's body, and then realize he's dead again.
Well, we should probably at least put Mohan on like a chair or something. Probably not.
I'd appreciate it.
Let's consider it.
Usually just leave me on the ground or put me in the ground.
We put you in your bedroll that one time.
Listen, I can go grab the coffin maker if that'll make you feel any better.
Just look at Grimes. Shame.
After a second, walking back out, you see a hyena. He seems to be holding something in his hand. And he's gonna walk up, look down at him, and say, "You sure this boy wants to come back?"
Yeah, I don't think he's.
I mean, he's a hedonist.
Yeah, I don't think he's done slept with enough women to want to be dead.
Not by his standards.
Yeah, not by his standards.
Foolish boy.
You see him kind of like look in his hand. He says, "It's mine. Why shouldn't I keep it?" He looks into his hand, and you can see sitting in his hand is a ring. The ring seems to be, of like an ivory or bone kind of carved down to be a fairly smooth and circular ring. And he puts kind of wraps his fingers around it, puts it up to his mouth, and he kind of mutters something guttural into his hand holding it, and then reaches down and slides it on Grimes' finger, who like literally as it hits his finger, coughs up like a big spray of blood and shoots awake in like retching and in pain.
Where am I?
Damn.
Method acting at its finest. Wow, that was
Thanks, I suppose.
Yeah.
You keep that ring on, boy.
What did you do?
Saved your life.
We done brought you back. Although I don't know if we're gonna be regretting that soon enough.
Why'd you
This
so
thing
late?
shouldn't harm you. I mean, there are those out there, those beings of beyond, that I'm sure won't take kindly to you not having your time come when it came. But you're far from immortal. This thing's giving you a second chance, but you're going to be just the same as you were before. Except you got a ring you got to take awfully good care of.
Don't lose the ring and don't die is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd suppose that I'd stay alive as long as you could.
What happens when they're not? I'm dead.
What happens to any of us? That question I hope to never answer.
There seems to be a common theme around the Eyes of Providence.
Yeah. That's because of the
Yes.
bad guys.
This weirdo voodoo shit on me.
Yeah, I spoke to you a little before this all happened. A word of advice. Work with the Eyes of Providence as helps you meet your ends, but avoid getting too deep with these folk. Like I said, I'm kept around for advice because I'm a lot older and a lot smarter than any of them. And I've seen enough to know that these kind of groups, they only mean well when it's beneficial to them, and I'm sure you've already seen that.
That's why so many of them are politicians.
Reagan.
Did you say Reagan? That's a weird...
Reagan?
A little known fact, Reagan actually just a squonk in a suit. Secret member of the Eyes of Providence.
Despite all that loot, he was
He's still just a squonk in a suit. He said, "I'm not a crook,"
Hey,
but he's still just a squonk in a
I'm wearing
suit.
this shirt. This episode's full of smashing pumpkins.
Part of the reason we were here,
It's sponsored by
Hyena.
pumpkins.
We're working with a university out west, building something of a occult collection. It's something kind of off the books. We were kind of hoping to start building something of a library, or at least expanding our collection. And Raven recommended we talk to you, being a collector. At least if you'd know where to track anything down, or if you just, I don't know, have spare copies of anything or whatever.
Got some historical texts that I've got plenty of copies of that delve a little bit into the truth of some histories. I'd be happy to part with those couple volumes. I've got one I don't have a spare copy of, but read the thing cover to cover enough times. I got the whole thing memorized that could do you well,
Wouldn't
especially
be,
for cataloging.
Wouldn't be the prodigiosum thing, would it?
Poker
Beautifully-
Prodigiosum. I do have a copy.
We've
I haven't
got
gotten around to reading it though.
we've got plenty.
We've got 2 signed copies.
Which kind of reminds me. Speaking of why we have so many copies, seems to be something of a mad scientist convention going on, off and on. Seems like the fellow who wrote the book's trying to track down, or has been tracking down other folk, getting them to do some experiments with them. We've run afoul of 3 of them now.
Yeah.
Well, one's just a fanboy.
One was a
But we
fan.
think he was actually. Now, in retrospect, we think he might actually have been.
Yeah. We say he was a fanboy, but he probably was one of them.
Which reminds me that that's what we need to go deal with next. Is try and find out what happened to the body of my brother. Long story.
I won't make you share it.
Just if you hear about this Dr. Gladstone fella at all, we'd appreciate it.
Can do. I'll take the time to read the book now. Give me one moment. And he'll walk.
Goes over, reads the whole book.
He walks straight back down the hall to
Here's
the
a third
study,
copy.
and he pulls a couple of books off the shelf. He's going to give you 3 historical volumes. They seem to be fairly old, but they're basically sections of ancient history that are told from a perspective of like legends being real, sort of a deal. And he also is going to give you a book that is essentially a book of artifacts and mystical items. It's breaking down a lot of like you would find things about potentially like that like witch totem and probably this ring or maybe
It's the magic items section in the
of the DMG. Exactly. It's literally like it's like mystical artifacts and items, both those of somewhat mass quantity as well as or like those that could be made by people as well as like ones of great importance historically.
That could be useful. Yeah. Well, I was worried he was going to send enough with us that we'd have to like crate it all up and just ship it. Ship it back to us so it just shows up for Potter to deal with, which would have been funny. But it sounds like there's enough that we can just carry the books back, so. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
That goes a long way.
Glad to see. What is he?
Me? Who?
He's gesturing towards the headless body on the ground.
Yeah.
He knows what you are.
Damned if I know.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
I mean, I strongly. My guess in this guy has an occult of like a D12, so I doubt me with my occult of a D6 would be able to roll well enough to figure this out if he don't know shit, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
He's
Kills
not
man
ready to
quoting the
say.
Bible sounds like Satan and minions to me.
He's God's brave soul.
6 explodes.
So there's a chance. 6 explodes.
14.
So, are you like giving this guy once over, looking at his body, trying to
Yeah.
figure out what he truly is?
Yeah, I want to actually like, because I don't know nothing about this guy apart from like the fight that we just had with him. So I'd actually like to, look him over, see what he's carrying apart
Wait
from
a
the sword
second.
and a couple
You
of
like lift up his
pistol
shirt. You
shots.
just got like, I am a. Do not resuscitate.
I pull his wallet out and it's just got all of
Made
his
in
personal information.
hell. So looking over him, first thing you're gonna notice is like looking at the whole the neck wound, the stump there. The what is left behind looks like sinews and pieces of muscle. However, whatever it's made out of is like a pale, kind of off-white color. So it's like muscles and like the shape of muscle, but it is kind of like an eggshell
golem.
Is he made of clay?
Oh.
It seems fairly similar to muscle in texture and in form, but is like certainly some and like looking at there's no like blood vessels, there's no like blood flowing through him at all. It just seems like this muscle that could like contort and move him. And you kind of like press and move, and you can see like a slight flickering light almost inside the center of his chest.
It's pretty rad.
It's pretty weird. You don't know exactly what that is all about.
If it is a golem, that's pretty sweet.
Check his chest. See if there's something.
However, you don't think he's a golem as you continue to look him over. It's just out on the outside. He seems entirely human, very like idealized human, very chiseled and stuff, but like
You
stripping
described
the
him.
big.
You described him. You mentioned
handsome
that
Squidward,
you're like this is gonna take some gravitas away, but
Like, you peel the long jacket off of him, and you peel off the shirt, seeing like he's chiseled muscle everywhere. And you can see the spots where like the shot and stuff that have hit him has kind of peeled away at the skin on the outside, and you can see peeking through that little bit of like white muscle underneath. And what you notice is on his back, 2 long, stitched together scars where you think wings once extended out from.
Oh shit! We done killed an angel.
fallen angel.
Fallen angel.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Well, what do you make of that one?
Well, the only angels I know of have 1,000 eyes.
They're all circular.
Wheels within wheels within wheels.
What's the other horrific one? I know there's that one.
Isn't there one that's like just teeth?
Faces.
I don't remember.
There's that wheel.
Pimple.
No, that's a creature of the apocalypse, and it's basically just describing a helicopter. There's like a scorpion, flying scorpion. Anyway,
Shit.
Maybe
Wow.
Does he have any?
bad
Does he
side.
have like any notebooks or anything on him, or is it?
he seems to have a bit of like parchment with him and a pen, probably what he wrote with previously. Nothing seems to have been filled out yet. You can see that he's got like inside the coat, he's got an assortment of like small knives. He's got a small hammer in there, multiple nails, like nailing people to a coffin style nail, or to a coffin, to nailing people to a cross style nails, kind of tucked in slots on his jacket. He doesn't have like any trail rations with him. He doesn't have any money on him. He's got some ammunition, some shotgun shells, and
You just feel
Is there anything in particular, like, does his sword seem different compared to his other weapons?
Like the shotguns are probably mundane.
Because we had to use his sword to decapitate him.
his shotguns seem mundane. The sword seems to have like there's more to it. Even just like who was it that ended up actually decapitating him?
I had Jeffress.
You can feel like you felt like a slight, like almost thrumming in your hand when you were holding it. Something is off in your
So I'm gonna pick up the sword and just kind of, I'm gonna do like a notice or something. on it.
Sure.
Immediately
Roll.
goes back to power.
You hear a voice in the back of your head.
Get him up.
cute.
You're like, what?
John
No, what? You hear that? Bogus hears that voice in the back of his head.
Who the fuck's John Williams?
That's new.
Another voice.
Another one.
Another voice to add.
I'll say that's a
to my
5.
collection.
Well, what is it?
It's a 5.
Okay. I don't care what you'll say it is. I want to know what it actually is.
I'll say it's a 5.
And I'll say it's a 2. But you guys tell me what it really is. So, looking it over, it's not particularly grandiose. It's not like bejeweled. There's not some like phrase etched in the handle about crushing the blasphemers beneath you. It is just exquisitely made, bright silvery kind of steel material for the blade. The handle itself seems to have some like kind of gold inlay filigree kind of stuff, but not particularly ornate. The handle is tightly bound. It's just like a very high quality sword that emanates a feeling of like something beyond the mortal world
does the
you
book
wake
say?
Say, I was gonna attempt to find something in my Bible.
I mean, there's plenty of swords in the Bible.
Well, just about the
There's
guy.
some flaming
and the swords.
swords. There's some.
So I'm going to attempt to read my Bible.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a spirit.
While he's attempting to read his Bible, I'm just gonna grab his sheath that he has attached to him and just hook it up, and then I'm gonna hand it to the young ones. Like, this one might be something to add to the collection.
Just
Oh, I'm gonna use the shit out of it.
guaranteed. Mohan becomes the swordsman of the group.
No, I have a 5 in fighting now. Everybody was kung fu fighting. You know how to use that thing? Stab.
Don't you know?
Like,
I just think the point on the end goes into the other map.
What's the red versus blue? Of course I know how to use this thing. What about
Swish, stab.
What part of swish stab don't you understand? It's a sword, not a fucking like
Fighter
laser
jet.
Fighter jet, yeah.
Look it up in the book.
So,
Subtlety is the key.
what
I
was
thought memory was the key. No, the sword's the key.
What was your?
You should get a key ring.
Can bring yourself to open the book, the good book. You reached for your Bible and you're like, I just decapitated an angel. I can't open this.
I'm a monster.
Strongly applied a fallen angel.
That's true.
What was your?
I can look for. I can try looking.
Go and give me a.
What's the...
I guess you only need to. Are you taking the time?
It's in the book. Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, I can look through our newly acquired.
Jordy LaForge.
I can look through our newly acquired magic item guide.
Okay. Looking through, taking some time with it. It doesn't necessarily speak of like clan thing, thing of the north or anything like that. But it does speak of like legend and stuff specifically around the blades of angels, and saying that specifically oftentimes depictions and stuff and descriptions describe like the archangels as carrying blades.
Oh,
and that
no.
An archangel having a blade, that like to have possession of such a blade would be the only way that a particularly evil doer would have of affecting something of the supernatural world of that scale. That like these blades sometimes have been theoretically handed to like champions of good in the past, and that if they are found by evildoers, it gives evildoers a weapon that could actually pierce the true hide of like an archangel and like bring something.
Well, it would be nice if at any point he'd have been like, "Yo, I'm one of the good guys."
But
And we would have
he
been like,
might not necessarily have been.
right.
Like it could have been, hey, here's a sword that's fallen into evil hands and is being
Right.
used to murder people.
Yeah. Like
Murder.
we don't have any clear
Mostly bad guys.
we don't have any clear cut evidence that he was an archangel. We know he was fallen angel.
We don't know much of it.
I mean, if somebody's able to yank down an archangel and rip out their wings, it's Or if an archangel has, I guess archangels have fallen, like canonically, so it's
yeah. Catholic canonically.
well, no, like literally canonically.
Catholic headcanon, not
Catholic headcanon.
You're lucky he didn't use that weapon against you.
Catholic headcanon.
It'll blow your mind.
Start right.
Start life.
Great. Well, I guess we'll stay here for the night.
Okay.
Assuming
I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm
gonna
gonna
ask
stay
you-
here tonight whether you guys
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna
That's why
ask
we should stay here for the night.
I'm gonna ask Hyena, Mr. Hyena, sir, do you by chance have a little workshop that I might hold myself up in to do some tinkering?
I might have a workshop, but I don't think I want any of you in it, to be perfectly honest. No offense.
No, none taken. None taken. It's not the first time.
You want to tinker, you feel free to go out back.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go outside.
Don't go too quickly out back, though. I am backed up against a very large cliff drop overlooking the ocean.
Yeah, don't blow the patio off the back of the house.
Don't blow up anything. If you do, keep it away from that house, please.
I will try my best.
You probably shouldn't let him be tinkering anywhere near the house.
It's okay, I'll just go as close to the cliff edge as I
He was wanted for blowing up a university.
Allegedly, as I walk out.
Of course, there was a legend.
Oh, it was a legend, alright.
That's what she said. The rest of you are welcome to stay here. Got shit for guest rooms, but couches in the study are comfortable enough.
Better than what we normally get.
Reckon.
Heck, even our house doesn't actually have any beds in it.
You guys just gonna leave me on the floor, or?
No, we put you in the chair.
No.
Yeah, we put you in the chair so you're kind of like this. You're gonna wake up with like a crick in your neck, like ah.
Hyena, do you have any alcohol around?
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I suppose having potentially killed an archangel, that's something for celebration. Get my finest wine, non-sacramental, of course.
I don't know. I think maybe Sacramento wanted to do some good right about that.
I don't think there's good to be doing for that.
I don't think much could help us here.
We need to start making up points for the other team.
I think Sacramento Line would literally kill Jeffress.
It's the holy water of alcohol.
But I'm just gonna be outside sitting on the cliff edge, tinkering, but I'm also gonna be reading the Bjorkland's notes.
Okay.
I'm getting drunk because I saw shit.
On the other side, too.
All you weren't dead for long enough to like really experience what the afterlife is. All you know is everything went dark, and there was kind of a moment where you saw what you felt was a light distantly ahead of you. You started walking towards is the only thing you see, and as you're walking towards it, you heard a voice from behind you say, "Well, hello there, friend." And then you gasped awake, vomiting blood. So that's as far as you made it.
I'm drinking. I'm scared of that man.
Yeah.
New hindrance, fear of the devil.
I know I'm going there some days.
I don't drink wine. I just gotta cut a little bit.
You can't say.
What, you cut a little bit off of him? What do you mean by
Well, no, like I cut his.
He cuts him.
I cut like a vein a little bit.
just get a cup, fill it up?
He taps the keg.
I thought you should like cut a piece off and start eating it. I'm like, God damn, you're a vampire. You going full cannibal.
No, he's just filling a pint.
Yeah, fair enough.
Off the
It
tap.
comes in points.
Am I
comes in points.
undead?
Huh?
Am I undead?
Well,
Not.
you were dead and you are no longer dead. So by a specific, particular definition, you are undead. You're not a zombie, you're not a spirit inhabiting the body that isn't yours, and you're not a otherworldly blood-sucking creature. No offense.
What's the?
Shrugs,
I'm a
drinks
child
friend's
of God.
blood. Says, what you are is damn lucky I had that ring.
You're a gestalt entity. Your soul has been bound to your own body.
Just saying, if he didn't have the ring, I could have Frankenstein monstered this. I got the notebook.
I'm not exactly sure your friend would be your friend at that point.
Well, I'm not in there. I'm just this is out
I
of character
appreciate it.
moment.
I don't think I
And
want to
who's
be anyone's
Frankenstein?
Frankenstein monster.
Technically, in this universe, it's Bjorkland's monster.
Frankenstein doesn't exist. That hasn't been written yet.
I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate all of you dealing with that. Clearly, that was a force of nature that I don't like my chances against.
I feel like anytime that Erickson looks at me while I'm dead, I just.
You have to keep role playing. If I catch you not playing dead,
And you'll get
Don't make him buy another
He's
box
got a
of
whole
those
bag of chickens ready to.
gross jelly
beans
things.
things. Yeah.
He's gonna kind of look out over those of you that are alive and present and be like, "Is there any? I've given you what I can to help out, and I've been around a very long time. I know, not to toot my own horn, but I'm a fairly wise fellow. I know quite a bit. Is there anything else I can help you with?"
Well, we've already run into the devil more than once, so I don't think you can answer any questions in that regards.
I try to steer clear of myself. He stopped. I think he's learned that not much point barking up this tree. If I ever see the other side, it's going to be a dark one.
I mean, I guess we could kind of fill him in on what we suspect about. I mean, because we already talked to him a little bit about Dr. Gladstone, but kind of like specifically the fact that he may have stolen my brother's body, and that might also have something to do with a Professor Contagion. Is that right?
Yeah.
Making some sort of
I.e. Grimes' true love.
one of
I'll
many.
marry that one.
Most recent.
Like Professor Contagion making some sort of serum for him.
We're out of him.
Or out of him. And in theory, Dr. Bjorkland's reanimation work fits into all of this somehow.
Yeah.
Zombie werewolves.
I mean, yeah, it'd be, look, I don't want, I've mentioned this already, I don't want to have to kill my brother a second time.
Says, well, what I know is that the bodies of the lycanthropes are very sturdy. So, if what you tell me is true, even if you bring a burning church down on top of one, I bet there'd be some pieces to find pretty well put together. As far as bottling lycanthropy or turning it into a serum, that's something that's been attempted many a time, and not that I've ever heard of or seen has anyone been able to successfully bottle up that gift. That's one that has to be sunk into you, the old-fashioned way.
Out of character mode of bogus margins until today.
I've done it. A bunch of teeth start coming out of his mouth.
My favorite moment from editing that was the side joke about hunting the cats with tranquilizer darts. And you just went, cha-cha-cha. That just like going back through the edit, that just made me laugh so hard. Cats. I mean, in theory, you know, even if you could like make an army of werewolves, how do you control them?
That was probably
But
what Dr.
Bjorklund's could control his undead with that like radio
There.
box thing.
Yeah. Come to daddy.
So is that the whole point of this? Is to create an army of mind-controlled Frankenstein's Wolfmans?
I mean, it could work.
Professor Bogus. His mind is just like aflutter with the possibility.
I mean, that would be ridiculous, but potentially possible. Violently scrolling the
I don't think
I start
treat it you may.
I start quickly going through the Bjorklund's notebook about the waves and how to control them. Like, well,
I mean, or Professor Bogus is gonna have to pull another wire out of a box. I mean, it's just like we know. So we know the first, the Mayor Escatoon was involved with the lycanthropy side of things, or we suspect that was based off the note we have, that was the new specimen that was lost, and that my brother's body is the old specimen that was recovered. We know Professor Contagia was somehow involved in this with making a serum, and that her work wasn't so much about like.
Easy there, Jagger.
I can't look at Grimes while I'm thinking about story.
Oh, he's got a story.
Yeah.
Colorful interludes, you might say.
Professor Contagia's work wasn't necessarily about what the disease did, but more about like how it spread and how quickly it spread. And then Professor Bjorklund's work was about reanimating the dead. So
Seems to
mesh. At the very least, we have a lot of pieces.
It's true.
So the next one of these fanboys we run into will add another piece to the puzzle.
It's true.
I mean, look, apparently out east there's a mad scientist around every corner.
Yeah. Damn Yankees.
Oh, there's one right there.
Professor Bogus walks around the corner.
Looking through, you were specifically saying you're looking through Bjorklund's notes,
Yeah.
and kind of on like what they're talking about with like the reanimation,
the
of
wave, like
waves
how
and
they
all that.
control them.
It seems like his issue, and that you kind of find the stopping point of his notes, is that while he can use the radio waves to kind of keep some sort of semblance of consciousness to them, that like true control and true consciousness of like more fine control than like go do this, like having some level of intelligence left would require a constant steady kind of like basically those frequencies replacing their normal neurological function, and to do that they'd have to have like some hardcore metal strapped to them at all times. And so it'd be pretty hard to, he's like, with the metals I have, for me to like reanimate and keep more conscious inside these, they'd have to have a lightning rod sticking out of them, and that's not really practical for a human body to move around.
When we faced off against Bjorklund's
Zombie
monster,
cyborg werewolves. Or cyborg zombie werewolves?
I'm not entirely sure what
Does
the
the zombie
correct...
or the cyborg go first?
When we
Well, it
fought-
depends.
does
Is it
werewolf
which one's
go
from the
first?
father's and which one's from the mother's side?
Yeah.
Or does werewolf go first? Is it technically
when we
werewolf,
fought
cyborg,
Bjorklund's
zombies?
monster.
Because I think cyborg is zombies. Sounds right to me.
Yeah.
So is it? I guess it would be like cyborg zombie werewolves.
Right. Because like werewolf, like cyborg
I'll
zombie.
ask my question eventually. I'll let them get
And
this out.
zombie werewolf.
I'll let them get this out. When we fought Bjorklund's monster, because he seemed to have full control over the one that was in the tower.
He seemed to have full control, but like what I'm saying is that the thing was a simpleton. He was able to exert control, and it seemed like the body was able to accept these radio waves. But he's saying that like they need something to resonate with. Like they have to resonate through something, and the human body is functional for that, but not ideal. And while this body he made, like the Bjorklund's monster, had some like metal parts built into it, but still like for the frame to support it, it was pretty limited. Less so than the zombies from the field, but still very limited in what he could control.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in theory.
But with the power
Werewolf,
of a werewolf
yeah.
body.
He said basically, without a lot more metal, or a metal that he doesn't think exists that can have that resonation,
Solid gold.
he's not able to make this happen.
I think if you stabbed this sword into a werewolf, they would just die.
That
Which I'm
would be
counting
convenient,
on.
right? I mean, look, however all of these puzzle pieces fit together, it spells bad.
Right.
So,
Wait a second. The only letters in my alphabet super B-A-D.
Dab.
Hey, Mohan, look at my alphabets. It says, ooh, bogus, those are bowl of Cheerios.
I think my cereal's haunted.
it says, ooh.
That's a bowl of Cheerios.
Many amusing. Maybe,
I
doubt
do think, though, that it is cyborg zombie werewolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
that does sound like either a pretty sweet final game boss fight or like a penultimate boss fight.
Right.
It sounds like an awesome heavy metal band. Just
That's
saying.
true. It makes some great cover art for sure.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we need to, assuming our brave leader wakes up in the morning, I guess we need to go check out Halter's Parish and see if
Who
there's
knows?
anything.
Every time I go down, to my mind, there's always a chance that it's just like, and that's all you get.
I don't remember.
That's all
Had enough
I got.
time pass in the last session for me to make a vigor roll for my wounds.
You did on the travel over here. You rolled
Okay.
for one. You, in your lifeless slumber, come to in a familiar place. Kind of seems like a almost featureless building, but at the same time, you're definitely at a bar. And this time, you kind of come to sitting at the bar itself, up at a stool, and that same amorphous shape. The bartender that spoke to you last time is sitting there polishing a glass, and you kind of come to hand on a glass in front of you, and you look down to see the darkest black liquor you've ever seen. Moving it, it's viscous and almost sticks to the sides. And he kind of turns around and he's like, "Drinking the strong stuff, I can see.
Suppose so.
Shall I top you off? Or have you had enough?
I could do another round.
Same drink?
What else you got?
I got everything here, friend. You seem to like that stuff."
Yeah.
It's symbolism.
Kept me going so far, I guess.
That it has.
Symbolism, that's for nerds.
And you see him reach down to the bottom shelf and pull off a bottle that's fair. It's again, it kind of, as he grabs it, it becomes amorphous in shape and shadowy in his hand. And he pours it out, and it comes out liquid and hits thick into the glass, filling it up another partial way. And he says, "Well, enjoy your drink, friend. Ride safe."
Safe as I can.
And you slam it back, and it tastes good, but a little unfulfilling. And then you wake up the next morning. The taste still in your mouth.
I think there's
One of your teeth.
it's a shotgun pellet.
Man, if any monster eats you, they're gonna have a
Oh, man.
Hell of a bad time. The amount of lead in you, the amount of shotgun pellets in you will probably just kill
It's
whatever.
just shotguns and bricks. That's the only thing that comes after Mohan.
I think he's got clawed to death once.
Well,
Morning, Mohan.
Just, everybody wakes up. I'm outside, just shooting my new gadget. Just, yeah, it works.
20-foot-long gout of flame.
It's going off the cliff edge, so it's like not even facing the house.
That is not going to help Hyena's reputation in this town.
Nothing's gonna fix that.
yeah, alright.
But there's a difference between fixing it and making it much, much worse.
He'll just outlive them all. It's fine. He's done it before.
I'll do it again. Now, you seem to be recovered well, all of you. Best as you can be. You're welcome to stay here as long as you want, but you seem like you got a road ahead of you to ride.
Unfortunately, I think I need to go home.
We're coming with you.
Homeward bound.
I mean, honestly, you guys might have to do most of the investigation there. Just because, like...
Is Louisiana outside of my jurisdiction still?
No,
It's in your jurisdiction.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'll make this easier. it's a classic. Where exactly is my jurisdiction? Wherever I say it is.
Here, if I want it to be.
We need to
Depends
get you...
how fast on the draw I am.
We need to get you a U.S. Marshal's badge, so that way no, it doesn't matter which side of the line you're on. You're just flashing.
Just have a collared duster, and you just flip the collar to whichever badge you want to display in the moment.
As soon as we cross the border, he unpins one badge, puts it in a saddlebag,
Pins the other.
Swap. Turn my head around.
Well, I guess we're heading out.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I
You
don't think.
folks travel careful and take what I said to heart. Be careful with your interactions with these eyes.
I kind of stopped trusting him a while ago, but we were kind of running around doing, warning them about this fella anyway, so...
Stay useful. They'll stay friendly.
Probably
You got that sword still? Think you'd kill a werewolf?
Maybe if it's made of silver.
Anybody got a problem if I wear this?
Christ, he's gonna keep. No.
They're putting it on your hip?
Gear
I mean, I'm not the one who's going to look ridiculous.
There he is! The power with the sword! What killed Wade?
Oh yeah,
I told he was using a double-barrel shotgun, too.
He ain't as handsome as ours.
In fact, that boy's got a scarred up face.
we should.
Man, is he intimidating.
I'm the Archangel now.
Should we send like a letter to Raven, letting him know that we?
No, I can sweat it out a bit if he wants.
Okay.
You step out front, and there's a pale horse standing.
What?
Oh yeah, I forgot about this fella's horse.
I'm gonna walk up to the horse and like try I'm gonna ease up to it.
Okay.
It's one of them carnivorous
What's the animal
horses.
handling equivalent of this system?
Riding?
Yeah, make a riding check for me.
I'm not trying to ride it, but okay.
Unless you want him to just roll.
Or you could do
spirit.
charisma, which will be at a -2 because of all your accoutrement from your craziness.
Yeah, I mean either way it's a -2 regardless. So
Or -3 within you have a wound.
yeah.
So it'll be -3 on this.
You could taunt the horse.
Ooh, that's a 1.
That's the one. You like kind of try and calmly approach this, and it like just turns and like locks eyes with you. That's a.
Yeah, I don't like this. I'm going over to Sam.
I mean,
Can I try?
think this horse sounds rad, but I don't really want to give up my little painted pony.
Can I try to pick the horse?
What about the unholy avenger here?
I just want to pick the horse.
Make a riding check if you want. Oh, you're trying to pet it.
Yeah.
Make a riding check to walk up to it.
So you're riding
Nothing.
nothing, guess.
That's what
Yeah,
makes Grimes' relationship with Spanky so fun.
I have
Because they're both clueless.
I have riding. I'll let you guys work it out.
4 explodes.
There you go. Hey. So
5.
2.
So 3.
So 3.
You like approach and your hand goes up to try.
Minus.
Oh.
0.
Oh, yeah, because you got 3 wounds left over when
Oh.
you come back. So you kind of like try and approach towards this thing, and it like kind of you see it kind of like sit up a little straighter, and
It's gonna bite
if
you.
a horse could flex, it's like puffing its chest out high, and it looks down at you, and you swear it gives a little. This thing seems a little too proud to let you come up and pet it, and you think that laying a hand on it is not a good idea.
Oh, I don't even have any sugar cubes or anything.
What remind me? When I come back from the dead, I
I'm
slap
gonna give it a shot.
Hang on, our unholy
You'll be
Avenger
back
is
at
gonna
3,
give it a
not
shot.
4. You're not like down.
No, I get you.
3.
I'm giving it.
You have any ranks of riding?
Yeah, so it's a 4.
I do,
Do you have wounds?
but I have a wound, so that's
So it's a 3.
Are you keeping the 3?
We're back up to.
You do have all your minis back. If you'd like to use one to reroll for dick size and then die, that'd be hilarious.
I used all my bennies on something
Now,
stupid.
now.
Yes.
Die.
I am gonna.
You can use a Betty. We're all just
Because I
gonna
think
take
it's gonna be
turns.
so cool if I can.
It's a real sword in the stone situation
Taking in turns, interacting
with the
horse of the Holy Avenger.
4.
4 exactly. You approach towards it, and it kind of like turns and looks at you, and it doesn't give the same like aggressive, like stay the hell away from me vibe that it gives to the other. It stands very firm and proud, but it lets you approach uncontested, I suppose.
Do you try to put a hand on it? That's the question.
I'm gonna try to do whatever it takes to
Befriend.
mount the horse.
Don't ever say it like that.
You know what?
I'm looking.
What I want you to do for me is roll me a spirit
Oh, that's better.
as you get up to it here. It's harder too.
He's got spirit. Yes, he does. He's got spirit.
Is it enough?
That
Oh,
10
10 explodes. There's a chance.
That
10 explodes. It's
22.
Minus
21.
21. 21. You step up to this horse, and it's eyeing you side to side, and as you kind of like approach towards, it bends down on like with one of its legs going forward. It leans down and tucks its head, giving a little bow to you.
I think Sklur just got a new horse.
That's a good horse.
You pet it.
Yeah.
It kind of like you pet it, and it stone cold does not really react to the affection at all, but it like doesn't stop you or snap at you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just start riding this horse as long as it lets me.
Okay.
You got Jesus' horse.
Hey,
Jesus,
behold,
take the
pale
veil.
horse. And he who sat upon him was a vampire?
Behold. You don't know if this horse has a name, but it certainly doesn't have a name tag.
Lemmy.
That's good.
Hasn't.
I'll do like you got a name there, valiant steed.
I mean, it just kind of like looks at you. It has a bit of intelligence to its eyes when it does so, but it doesn't say, "Hey, spill."
It's Phil.
My name's Lemmy.
I think that should you choose a name for it, it'd probably keep it
It should be
for as long as you're riding it.
This one is gonna be named.
Sprinkles.
This one's gonna be named Gideon.
Gideon.
Good biblical name.
A fine name for a fine steed. And you are now atop
You
Gideon.
gave him
So I can go. Giddy up, Gideon.
Giddy up, Gideon. Let me begin.
Just wait for our Devils of the West soundtrack. Giddy up, Gideon.
Let me begin.
This is all done to the beat of Wild Wild West by Will Smith.
Of course. Yeah, you now have a new steed.
Nice.
Gideon, the pale horse. And he rides
wanna write that
fast, hard, and doesn't seem to get tired when you're riding.
Nice.
Anybody want George, my old horse?
No.
Wasn't he a discount horse?
No.
He's
No,
an
he
actual
wasn't.
horse.
Oh wow, he wasn't El Cheapo.
I won trade Spanky for the world.
I don't think any horse would
You
let
guys-
When you say Spanky's name, Spanky reflexively he looks over his shoulder.
George could just travel with us.
Yeah, like we could put like
He'd be part of the.
we could like help him like it just turn into like a carrying horse. So like
Don't let Don't let Professor turn him. If you care for George, do not let him turn into a packing horse.
I wouldn't put any of my stuff on George, okay?
What's wrong with that horse? And it's just got like a bolt at either side of its neck, and it just like walks really like awkwardly.
I think I just saw it bite a lamp.
Oh my gosh. So, you guys are on the trail, new horse underneath you, and you'll keep Phil along. Phil?
George.
We just say it.
You should remember, he's George of the Jungle.
George, yeah, that's right.
George.
But
George of Rascatoon.
you're on the trail, you're on the road, and
Watch
heading
out
towards
for that.
Halter's Parish.
Yep.
While on the road, I'm gonna start actually reading the beautifully bizarre, the
Pulchra Prodigiosum?
Yeah.
Okay, real quickly, I'll give you just a kind of refresher rundown on like the basic chapters of Pulchra Prodigiosum, the beautifully bizarre,
Yep.
or the beautiful bizarre, which are as follows. Essentially, it is in total kind of 6 sections to the book. The first is titled "Ignorance is the Enemy of Discovery," and seems to essentially be saying like, leave no stone unturned and no source unfollowed in the name of discovering things, regardless of morality. Number 2 is "Grave robbers are the fathers of modern medicine," which is do what must be done in the name of discovery. Again, morality aside. Section 3 is called "Scars flaunt the strength of flesh," and that's make any sacrifice, any and everything in the name of discovery is essentially what he's talking about there. 4 is "Religion teaches satisfaction with a lack of understanding." Don't let religion or conventional morality get in the way of your discovery. Number 5 is "The things that go bump in the night should not be feared but studied. And that's like that tales and folklore are based in truths and they are part of the discoveries. You should try and harness the powers of them. And last but certainly not least, number 6, today's proud oak is yesterday's nut. Stand by your beliefs in the face of all who would doubt and judge your discoveries.
This whole book could be summed up as science good, morality bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, all the I was able to pick out the chapters from the bullshit we've encountered. Like, I was able to kind of figure this, like...
Oh yeah, thematically it's quite...
Thematically, it makes sense, like, for who was given a specific chapter. What was the one about ignore morality and religion?
The religion teaches satisfaction with a lack of understanding.
I want to read that chapter specifically.
Yeah, I mean, we'll say over the course of this journey, you can read through this book. You're a smart fellow and you got plenty of time.
Yeah.
The book itself is it's not like a how-to book. It's a manifesto, it's a doctrine. It is like this guy saying how you should live your life is the pursuit of power and knowledge, regardless of morality, and that the most powerful sources out there are not the mundane, but the fantastic, the unbelievable, and the occult.
It's a philosophical, like, treatise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Roll intelligence to not be swayed by the.
He's like, this book is literally like, you're like, I mean, this is pretty reasonable stuff. Especially now that you believe in some of the supernatural, this book is not
Bogus
far
is
from
like-
your doctrine.
Bogus is like, wow, some of this makes good points. This is terrible, and just like I close it really quickly.
During this,
How long ever...
you will have a chance to make a healing roll.
Okay.
at the
I
end
mean,
of
yeah,
it.
like, that doesn't matter for me. I just know that there are quite a few people here
Yes.
that are betting.
Before you get the opportunity to do so,
Right.
though, while you're riding,
Of course.
one evening, as you're kind of approaching the time that you should set up camp,
Yeah, here.
there is a fire set off to the side of the road, and it's the right time to camp, and should you choose to, you all kind of feel drawn to go and share a campfire with whoever's sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to go talk to Scratch.
Yeah, do we need to talk
We
to
never
Scratch
want
again?
to talk to Scratch, but it's just kind of like, the thing you did.
He was waiting for me. I don't know if
You
I'm-
was waiting for me on the other side.
I
I don't know if I'm ready
Yeah,
to...
no shit, Crimes.
I reckon.
Why wouldn't he be?
I reckon I'll make a Calvinist out of that filler.
Who, Crimes?
Sooner or later.
Yeah, Grimes are the
Alright,
trouble.
for little Scratch. Seems like a nice guy. A little weird. He's a little ominous.
The full real devil.
I don't know about that.
How do we... How do we tell him that we destroyed his favorite winery?
We didn't destroy it.
No.
It's still there.
Bjorkling destroyed it. Yeah.
It's still there.
Didn't burn the place down.
Probably should have. Kind of thought about it. I believe that was one of our options, was murder it. Burn the
Light his house on
evidence.
fire. Are you all trying to just ride past? Or are you gonna stop and talk?
He's there.
Yeah. It's like Maggie says.
won't-
We don't want to talk to him, but it's just the thing to
He
do.
won't let us avoid him. If
He'll
we
just-
ride on and camp somewhere else,
He'll just walk
he'll
up
just
to us.
show up anyway.
So it's either we walk up of our own accord, or he shows up on his own.
Now maybe there's like a deeper thing here of like you need to resist talking to the devil. You know.
Fair point.
So do we want to take that route?
I mean,
as
so
well?
far this session, you've been really good at picking up on my symbolism.
Evil juice, yum.
Evil juice, my favorite. Don't mind if I do.
Or at least.
Sorry, that was overly harsh. Please do what you guys want to do.
I'm leaving.
I wouldn't mind just riding past,
Alright.
but
One vote for riding past.
Right past, I guess. Maybe.
What do you think, Grimes?
I guess.
I think
We shun the devil in all his ways.
except for all that shit we just did.
Well.
Yeah. Apart from that, I just think that's part of the reason we should. We just don't. Yeah, we just don't need to talk to him more.
You think that's gonna be our modus operandi? We're just like, if we don't talk to the devil, maybe he'll stop fucking with us.
That
He's
would
never
be
done
nice.
anything.
Resist the devil and he will flee.
All he's done
I've
is
seen the Bible.
words.
That's true. That would be nice.
Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones.
I just think
I still
that
have a feeling
we
he's just gonna
shouldn't-
show up of his own accord.
if the devil just shows up to talk to us, that's one thing. But I don't think we should seek out the devil to talk to the devil.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Maybe you could tell us more about that angel guy, though.
Oh, yeah.
Scratch doesn't say anything straight.
Such is his nature.
My vote is to keep
Okay.
riding.
Well, I think we've got a majority at the very least, so I guess we'll keep riding.
Brian, okay. So you guys can try and make camp a little further up.
You can go hang out with him if you want, Mr.
I think I'm good.
Mr. Evil
Evil
Juice
Juice.
Drinker.
You ride up a little bit further and find a spot you think, like kind of off to the side, you think would be a good place to camp. And as you kind of veer your horses towards it, you kind of hear like a tss, and you see a light kind of ignite a campfire towards the area of the clearing that you're riding towards.
Well,
And you feel once again a bit of an unsettling
How
draw
many-
to go take a seat there, but you feel like you could keep going if you
How many
want.
matches do you think he got?
The devil? I think he got about an endless supply.
I think he got enough.
Sulfur's pretty easy to come by where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I guess keep riding. Unless we want to.
we can try riding through the night.
I'm fine with it. Look, part of me wants to not sit still anyway because of where we're heading.
That's fair. Alright. We want to... It's kind of a group decision.
Yeah, keep riding, I guess.
Gonna try and everyone ride through the night?
Yeah, I think that's the goal.
I'm sorry.
We're telling the devil to go shove it.
I'm sorry, Sam. I don't mean to make you do this.
Are you kidding? Sam ain't slept in years.
Yeah.
He's too nervous.
Hey,
He was like a twig snap.
He heard that match light and
hey, I don't have any of the nitro on
he
me.
smells sulfur and he's just like shaking. In the
I don't
night.
have any of the nitro on me, so he's fine.
Riding through the night, and you guys will be able to do so by the time morning starts to break. You all and all your horses, save one, are very tired.
Level of fatigue.
Level of fatigue for everybody, including the horses, except for old Gideon. Doesn't seem to get tired from this ride.
I mean,
Good horse.
how many days out do I think we are from Halter's Parish at this point?
This is going to be near the midpoint of your trip, so probably a ways.
I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea, at least for me, to enter Halter's Parish at night. I mean, I think by and large you guys are gonna have to look around without me because you won't get anything done if I'm with you.
Sure.
On account of how I'll be arrested.
Maybe we can give you a little
Potentially.
makeover or something.
And potentially,
Change you into a different person.
that didn't work the first time you tried it, Grimes. When the Hammer Alabama was after you.
No?
I think it's gonna work even less in my hometown. I mean, we can just rest for now that it's daylight. We can rest for part of the day and then.
Jeffress
carry on in the
approves of that.
Yeah.
Resting.
So you
during the
guys
day,
are going to
great
try and
idea.
like rear off and find a
Yeah.
place to rest. Okay, you're able to do so. Find a clearing.
Rest
Sleep
till
during the day.
midday or something, and then carry on.
You guys get some rest. Are people keeping watch, or is everyone just getting rest?
I'll keep watch.
Yeah,
Okay.
taking it in turns.
That's
We
what
could
this
ask
is.
Gideon to keep watch.
Not a bad idea, honestly.
Gideon's the pig and Family Guy, the like genetically modified one, where it's like, oink, is that a pig? Oink.
Oh my god,
He's
is
the
that
horse from Tangled.
That's exactly what I was
His name is
imagining.
Maximus.
So you guys are taking it in shifts to kind of keep watch and whatnot. And you guys get some rest during the day. Grimes.
Is that enough to remove?
It'll be enough to get your level of fatigue off. Grimes, during your shift, you take the last one, of course. You hear what sounds like somebody, kind of like somebody swirling a spoon around in a tin can, like somebody eating out of a tin can.
I'm gonna follow that noise.
Okay.
Grimes' stomach rumbles.
And you kind of stand up, and like the noise definitely seems like it's coming from the woods. And walking from the woods in the direction of the last campfire you saw, you see old Scratch in the daylight, under some tree cover, walking, seemingly eating from a can, some sort of strange meat or something, scooping it out, taking a bite, going around, scooping it. As he walks up,
I guess I'll go say.
yeah, I mean, he's gonna like approaching the camp. You go.
Yeah.
He says, "Been an awfully
You don't
lonely
smell
ride
something
out
again.
here. You folks sleeping during the day now? Help the friend over there?" He says, kind of looking over at him.
I mean,
Wait,
he
is Grimes the only one awake at this point?
Early.
Yeah.
bet he probably appreciates it.
I'm just out.
I bet he does. Y'all look rougher than usual. You run into some trouble?
Yeah, I think we're gonna go meet some old people from the past, or I don't know. Ed talked about her brother being a werewolf and dying body and all that.
Ugly business.
Yeah.
Ugly, ugly business.
So at this point, I'm just like, Grimes?
Well, I'll be.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Good morning, Professor. Or should I say Doctor? Yeah, I have a question.
The gig is up.
The gig is up, Professor, just fine, thank you.
I feel like I tend to blabber, you know, I gift of gab, I'm afraid. This time I got a question for you instead of trying to give you a bunch of advice.
Oh
Man,
no.
you ever get sick of all the villains of your story feeling like you're looking in a mirror? Or your eyes still pinned shut like before?
They're just
No, my eyes go this way so I can see enemies coming from any direction. Well, now that, as you say, as my eyes have been more opened, I don't tend to as a man of science, I don't look at the ways of good and evil anymore. I just go by what the laws of science tell me.
What do they tell you?
Tell
I'm
me?
honestly curious.
Well, just explore deeper understandings and try to understand what we don't.
Somebody's got to ask the hard questions.
Unfortunately,
Scoops some mystery meat out of this can and takes a bite of it.
I'm gonna look at the can and then just look at Grimes and be like, eh.
At this point, though, the rest of you have heard enough conversations, you all start to stir.
It's like, I like the idea I kick Mohan. Wake up.
Hey,
Morning.
nice job keeping watch, Grimes.
he just
He walked.
That's
I
not my fault.
sit up perfectly.
You've moved to standing perfectly straight.
You do the Undertaker thing where you just all.
Stop doing that. It's weird.
You kind of pop up and look at him. He smiles at you, gives you a little wink, and he says, Auntie May sends her love.
Well, reckon she's dead though.
Again?
The real devil.
And I think this time it'll stay that way.
I reckon I thought I was dead too though. So. Hey. Hope the Lord, she finds the Lord's forgiveness.
I don't think she's gonna be.
I know.
You seem kind of twirl like that kid who's got an empty yogurt cup but is trying to get the last little like sliver of yogurt, like Script's like, Stuff fills you up. It leaves an awful bad taste in my mouth. Of course. Then he looks over at you and says, I suppose all meat, fresh or rotten, raw or cooked, floats to the same spot in the end. He tosses the can on the ground and it rolls over, showing a brand that says Corker and Doolittle. He says, as I was saying, your friend here, you all look rougher than usual. Trouble?
Nothing we couldn't handle.
I'm sure of that. You're still standing, aren't you?
If any of you talk about the full real angel, I swear to God.
I'm more worried about what the full real devil was doing in Halter's Parish recently enough to have a can of meat from the cannery.
I know I won't get a straight answer from him, but I do have a particular question here for real devil. So, Mr. Scratch, the name, the hell is Bjorkland of what?
Bjorkland?
Dr. Bjorkland?
Irvin Bjorkland?
Name Irvin Bjorkland ring a bell to you?
He was the one that sent us there.
Oh, yeah.
I know he's the one that sent us there, but if he
runs my
Are you
favorite
trying to dance around the fact that we destroyed his favorite winery?
No, this has nothing to do with his winery. This is actually something in particular.
Says, of course I know him. Makes some awful good wine.
He ever mention anything to you about a little bit of an experiment he was doing? He was a man of science like myself.
That he was. You say was. I mean, suppose he still is who he is he not? Or has something changed?
Well, let's just say last encounter didn't go very well, but either way, when last you spoke to him, mention anything of what he was working on?
Seemed to be pretty quiet. Keep to himself. Wanted to keep his notes a secret, I suppose. I think all men of science like to hide what they discover and keep it for themselves. Hard to get a group to work together like that.
That's why Professor Bogus' first rule of science is steal all the science.
Steal all the science and work alone, yes. Yeah, alright, that answers my question.
Now you almost booked a ticket home, my young friend.
Yay.
I look forward when you finally make that trip. I'm sure they'll have I'm sure they'll have kept a fire warm for you.
Probably. I'm not even sure still what happened or why I'm still here, but
I'm sure they will have
you
kept
did
a
scare
wife
the hell
for
out of
you.
me.
Grimes true.
Never mind. Never mind. As far as reasons to still be around when you think you ought not be, I'd ask your friend over here. He's pretty well suited to answer that question, more than myself. Speaking of being homeward bound, this road only goes one place, little lady. Now I know you've grown tired of my warnings, getting lost in unfamiliar and dark woods. But now I got a new warning for you. I want to shy you away from woods you know well. Because getting lost is scary, but I think that what you can find in a familiar place can be a true threat.
Well,
I.e. the werewolf brothers.
I reckon that this is about the last thing I ever felt like I wanted to do. But I reckon it needs doing.
Brave you're willing to be the one to do it?
Somebody's got to be brave, I guess.
I mean, the nice thing about homecomings is you get to see old faces again.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm a little worried about.
He looks sober at Mohan. Says, "You have dropped an awful lot of weight down on the scale recently, Mr. Wanderer. Not on the side you would ought to. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have a problem, but killing one of the pets, even a half-fallen one, does not tend to sit well. I know that blade. Cassiel and I go way back. Be careful with that one. It's awful sharp."
Not a name I know, but it sounds like this fella won't stab the devil, which is pretty cool.
Pretty rad. So, damn, I got in trouble for killing an angel? This is bullshit.
You drank a glass of evil juice. That's the symbolism we were talking about. You help kill an angel, then you go to the in-between, and the guy's like, "More of that glass of evil you're drinking?" And you were like, "Yes, please."
It's worked so far.
I don't know why you're surprised by anything here.
And also, like, granted, yes, you died before you could do any of the killing, but you helped plan its death.
We did it by your authority. It's true. It's everything we do. We just claim we did by your authority.
Well, if you see the original owner of that blade ever again, though I think that's probably not very likely, send him all my love.
Does he say anything about Gideon?
Doesn't.
You
Although,
fuck with that
are
horse.
you like looking over at Gideon?
Yeah, I'm just kind of
Like glancing over at Gideon, Gideon is in full alert. Like, it's less of the like I'm eyeing you down because you better not approach me, but he not necessarily scared, but hyper fixated on Scratch.
Like he is ready to try to make a getaway or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scratch ain't mentioning nothing about Gideon because he don't want to fuck with that horse.
And Gideon's
horse
not
will
really
kick him
like
into the next
I'll
town.
run away at any moment. It's like it's not like a prey instinct coming out. It's like I'm a tiger and another tiger just walked into this field and there's a predator here that can challenge me. He's like on edge in that sense.
Okay.
He still seems to be proud and
it's almost like
confident.
it's almost like a territorial.
Or at least thinks he is.
It's almost like a territorial deal that
I like
he's
that.
doing.
He's as strong as the devil.
I love the idea of Scratch walking too close behind him and just getting like anime style kicked into space. Like, just doing-
I'm blasting up again.
The literal devil's blasting up again.
In that calm, collective voice. Oh well, looks like I'm blasting off again.
Be a lot cooler if you sand.
Be a lot cooler if you sin.
He says, "Well, you folks seem to have your hands full and clearly don't want to go out of your way to visit old pal Scratch, so I'll get out of all your hair."
I just reckon the devil talking to you ain't necessarily a bad thing, but it ain't a good idea to go seeking out the devil to have a conversation.
Unless you need answers to questions that only the devil's got.
I think you just wrote a country song.
I mean, it ain't that hard to write a country song.
Beer.
I don't know, I'm not being wrong.
But it ain't so hard to write a country song.
I wanna fuck my truck. My achy breaky truck.
My dog done ran away from home.
I'm right
I want to
now.
fuck my truck and my achy breaky truck.
That was-
Please put that.
That's funny.
He's gonna say, "Now, if you have any of those kind of questions, feel free to stop by my fire. I frequent yours often enough. I feel like I ought to return the favor sometime. At least at some point in all of your journeys, wanderer or not. I'd like to share a fire with you and show you my sense of hospitality."
No thanks.
I feel like if we ever
I'm
did
gonna
that,
end
it'd be
there
a
anyway,
danger.
so
I'm in danger.
He opens his jacket and takes that spoon he was eating with, tucks into a pocket there, gives you a tip of the hat, turns and starts walking back into the woods.
yeah. I am not.
You do feel a little accomplished though that like the devil had to come to you to have those unsettling remarks shared.
I was kind of hoping
You're
he
playing
would.
hard to get.
Yeah.
I was really hoping he'd kind of spill something about maybe how to get the full control of the zombies just on the whim, but no dice.
Yeah, Corker and Dulifoy's the cannery in Halter's Parish.
Good.
Do
Well,
they
we're on the
say
right track.
mystery meat?
I don't know what Cassie means, but L definitely means God. If it's 2 words.
Go ahead and make. There's not like a religion, right?
Maybe a spirit roll at a cult?
There is not a...
I'd say probably a cult's gonna be your best bet there.
I can roll a cold. Although I am very hurt.
I don't give a shit about that person.
That's 2.
I'm not rolling shit.
That's 1 actually. Can I try like an academic, see if that name's like mentioned?
Sure,
in there?
it'll be different, but the information will be different.
Oh, wait,
but you have to roll it.
we did do, we do need a roll for it, right?
Yeah, that'll be at the end of this trip.
Oh, at the end of the trip. 3.
All of you think, like, are you rolling one?
Nah.
Okay. The name strikes a bell, or strikes a chord with, like, this is... What you can remember about this, those of you who are on the occult side of this, is that Cassiel is the name of one of the 7 archangels, like, in certain sects and ideologies of Christian-adjacent faiths. Be that Judaism or Islam, like, there's kind of a 7 archangels, and Cassiel's the name of some of those, often related to other, like, gods and stuff, and the weird merging of religions of the past. From the academic side of it, you know of it as, like, Cassiel, like that. You think that that's like, you're like, oh, that's just like the Jesus way that they took the god Saturn and were like, oh no, Saturn is just an angel. That's why you
killed Zeus.
You can still praise Saturn. It's just he's, you know, an angel now. That's all he is. That's literally it. And that, you don't remember any of the details of who Saturn is or Cassiel. But that's it.
Well, I figure the best I can do now is use the blade for its intended purpose. What for?
Cutting down heathens.
Killing really evil shit.
Yeah, I think the good first step wouldn't have been an order and a second glass of evil juice.
Yeah, that was probably.
I'm just gonna. I like the idea though. Like, we're fighting somebody who perceives themselves as the good guy, and you try to swing at them with the with the sword, and it bounces off like a wiffle bat because it can't kill good.
Does it make the wiffle bat noise?
Well, if it was
kidding,
able,
but I
if
can only
Cassiel was good, it did chop his head off. So
Yeah.
maybe it
I'm
can still kill good.
I'm killing you, but unfortunately I can only afford a wiffle ball bat, so it's gonna take a while.
It's gonna be very miserable for you. And then you guys are on the road and heading to Halter's Parish.
Yeah.
Dig up some old demons.
Well, find out who dug up the old demons.
And then stab.
Find out who let the dog out.
Who? We'll find out maybe next time on Devils of the West. Thank everybody for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.